VIX at 35 right now. Oh, the other interesting thing is, so GameStop has extremely high Vega on far dated calls, right? So these calls out here in like January have at the money have very, very high Vega, especially out of the money calls on GME, right? And since these calls are what's used to hedge, these calls and puts, these high Vega contracts are what's used to hedge those volatility baskets. When the VIX goes up, the overall market IV rises, and it makes it much more expensive for them to hedge volatility positions, which is a lot of what contributed to last year's Volga-Vana squeeze as the VIX was spiking. So GameStop, very, very profitable in an illiquid, in a high volatility market, right? As opposed to AMC. And this is one of the reasons I think AMC is sort of a hedge against GME. Because if you look at AMC Vega, very far out, it's extremely low at the money. Even the furthest out strikes are like 0.03. Whereas GameStop's like 0.5. So GameStop's Vega sensitivity is orders of magnitude higher than AMC's. I didn't realize I'd used it. All right. Do you want to give me a different one, Fluffy? So I'll switch it. But it has to be just as relevant. I can't help that this one keeps being relevant. It's not T+3. It's still just T+2. Yeah, we didn't rip until the afternoon. That's because of the dark pool orders, Robert. So as soon as those dark pool orders started coming into the market and settling, so when the dark pool orders settle, then they're printed to the lit exchange onto the buy and time and sales, right? So they're printed to the ticker on the lit exchange, and that's when their value is realized. This is why they say that, you know, dark pools prevent price discovery, because someone may have bought 500,000 shares of GameStop already, but the lit exchange doesn't see that until the dark pool settles the transaction. I am always full bull. If they're waiting to cover, does that mean IV pumps harder? Yeah, but it could also mean a halt into close. Is there any reason they would let it go to RegSHO for their benefit? I think they did it to their benefit last year. It delays the settlement, right? So as FTDs pile up, right? These FTDs, like when they peak, are due in 35 days. But so this whole block of peak, like say this hits 1 million FTDs, this is a good way to do it. Let's say this hits 1 million FTDs, right? And instead of all of these being due in 35 days, RegSHO would break this up. So RegSHO would not only delay the initial settlement by 13 days, it would then break up this entire climb of FTDs into separate settlements. And so, I mean, we saw this just now in January, February, December, as XRT went on the threshold list on the 7th, you know, and then we had these expected FTD pileups. But instead of getting an FTD pileup, we get, you know, FTDs from some ETFs and a little bit of XRT. And then the next day we get like some XRT, and then the next pileup day, and then XRT, pileup day. And so it dilutes the amount of covering done in one period. Like November 3rd is a very good example of, you know, XRT was not thresholded on November 3rd. And so we saw all the FTDA, which, you know, in order to clear those through CNS, they needed buy pressure. So they need one buy for every one short. And so if they have 1.5 million net short volume, then they need, you know, 1.5 million buy volume to clear.